there, and welcome to our 7-step guide on how to answer a call professionally. Now, the first question that might be on your mind is, why should there be a specific guide in how we answer a call? After all, it's just a call, and people are calling in just to receive certain information that they require. However, when you work for a certain organization, branding is very important. And how does branding come into play? Every single touch point that your customer comes into contact with creates a certain impression as to how the customer perceives your organization. Now that is important because whenever a customer comes into contact with any person or product of the organization, it creates a certain impression in their mind. The telephone is one of the most premier ways that the customers use to get in touch with your organization. And therefore, most of the time, it creates an impression as to what your organization has to offer and how your organization interacts with their customers. Therefore, having a very structured manner and a very interesting way of getting in touch with your customers is very important when it comes to telephone communication. People say, do not judge a book by its cover. But have you ever walked into a bookshop and looked for the book with the ugliest cover? I'm sure you've not. Because even if we do not judge people by the first appearance, we always take our first impression into a lot of consideration. Therefore, creating a very good first impression, even though it's on the phone, becomes extremely crucial when you come into contact with your customers. Now on the phone, the first impression is created with your greeting. The first 5 seconds of a call is extremely crucial for you to create a very good first impression. Now this initiates your conversation and ensures that the conversation goes on in a very smooth manner. Therefore, it is very, very important that you kickstart the conversation on the phone in a very positive note. Now let's take a look at certain examples that will show us how greetings can be done within a call. Hello?
Hello? Can I know where is this?
This is Edson.
Who am I speaking to?
This is Roshni.
Oh, okay. Can you help me? I would like to find out more about training.
Now, let's take a look and see what actually went wrong in the role play. Let's review and see where did that go wrong. Firstly, in the role play, if you notice, there was really no professional welcome, and because of that, the customer did not know where he or she was calling. Now this is very dangerous because when a customer is not sure where they're calling, they would start to ask you the same question again and again. For example, where is this? Where am I calling? If you are a person who is not very confident when you're answering the phone, this would result in you feeling a little bit more nervous, and again, it's going to set a very negative tone to the entire conversation. Secondly, if you noticed just now, there was no introduction, so the customer really didn't know who they were speaking to. Now again, this is a danger zone because again the customer would be asking you more questions. Not only you would be losing time in the call, but also you would start to get a little bit more nervous because the customer keeps on badgering you with questions right from the start. And finally, we fail to use this very good opportunity to offer for help. Now, of course, the customer knows when they're calling to seek for assistance. However, this is a key question that is asked to create rapport. And you would see how this impacts the entire conversation when we move on to the further topics. Now, these are 3 essential components in a call opening. Once you have these 3 in place, a greeting becomes complete and professional, creating a very good first impression and setting the tone for a professional call. Now, let's see how this is done in the right manner.
Good morning. Thank you for calling Edson. This is Roshni speaking.
How can I assist you?
Good morning, Roshni. I'd like to find out about training programs that Atson has to offer.
Now, wasn't that so much better? You can definitely see the improvement in the way the phone was answered and the greeting was done. So, let's take a review on what we have covered in this topic. Remember the 3 essential components of an inbound greeting. Firstly, always start with a professional welcome. This gives the customer a very good impression of your organization. Secondly, always give a personal and company introduction. Yes, the customer may know where they are calling, but this gives them the confirmation that they are calling the right place. And thirdly, always offer to assist the customer. This definitely kickstarts a very good way for you to build rapport with the customer, and it eases the customer into the conversation. Now that we've completed the first step, let's move on to the next step. How do I put the customer on hold? Congratulations, you have now completed your first step in how to handle a customer over the phone. Let's move on to our next step, where we'll now move into how to put your customer on hold.